That was good. Okay, let's get started. Today I want to talk about. Uh, what am I talking about today? Today I want to talk about if people don't like you, it's not your problem. Okay? If people don't like you, that's not your problem. That's their problem. And I think oftentimes, as people, we're always trying to fit into a community, always trying to have this sense of belongingness, right? Whether we for example, join a new church or join a new club or join some sort of like new thing, right? We're always trying to find a sense of community wherever we go. And sometimes damn, that Coke's getting me right now. And sometimes that just doesn't happen, right? For whatever reason, whether maybe you don't fit their culture, or maybe they just don't like you. Sorry. Maybe they just don't like you for whatever reason, right? That's really not your problem. And I think for me personally, I think because I was raised too Chinese. I was raised too Chinese. I'm just kidding, not too Chinese. I think I was just raised to be a people pleaser. And in the past, I've always felt like when I wasn't invited, or like when I just have these FOMO because I wasn't invited to these things, and I always blamed it on myself. And I always thought, oh, what can I do to change myself in order to belong or get invited to these events, But I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, as you get older, you just kind of like, you're like, screw it. If I don't get invited, I don't get invited. And in a sense, as you get older, you also realize what your own values are. And if people don't recognize that or see that, then so be it. Sometimes these things are out of control, especially like when you're dealing with other people and stuff like that. And I just want to talk about that. And recently I had a debate. I don't even call it a debate, with a friend of mine at the gym. And he was kind of like he was kind of, I don't know, one thing led to the next. We're talking about like our parents, right? And my friend, he said that his parents did really well, because they'd gave birth. They gave birth to two daughters and two sons. And and they're in the medical field. They're doctors. And I just said, like, really casually, I said, oh, anybody could be a doctor. And he just took really offense to that, like, of what I just kind of casually, like, just pushed out. Because I don't know, maybe to him, you have to be a certain way to be a doctor or something. And I don't know. We're all shaped by our own beliefs, right? We're all shaped by our own limited beliefs or fixated beliefs or whatever. And to me, it's like, oh, I said that we can all be doctors if we want to. Well, first of all, if you want to be a doctor, you go be a doctor, right? Like, I don't think to be a doctor you need some special status. Granted, obviously becoming a doctor is not an easy thing, but if you stick through the challenges and you don't give up, you know, I'm sure even if you fail like 1,000 of times, if you persist, is what I'm trying to say. If you persist, you will still end up being a doctor at the end of the day. If you don't give up on something, if you really want it and you're willing to sacrifice the pain and struggle of going through to become a doctor, you can be a doctor regardless of who you are, where you start, or whatever foundation you have, right? And I just, that's why I said casually, like, oh yeah, anybody could be a doctor. And he just really took offense to that, and like just really started like yelling and just being agitated at my opinion, and I just wasn't expecting that. I felt like we're both adults and we're both mature enough to kind of have our own opinion, but apparently it did not end the way I expected. It was because people share their opinions all the time. I mean, it's one of the things that I think I started doing more as the last 4 or 5 years. I think growing up, I've always been really reserved and really withhold how I felt, and I think it has to do with the confidence in me, where like maybe what I have wasn't worth sharing. It's just like these really poor negative self-talk, which is one of the topics I talked about, I think 2 videos ago, or last video. So if you've never seen it, if you never watched that video, you should check it out. But going back to the topic of this video, if people are offended by your opinion, that's not your problem. Okay, don't feel the need to change or cater to yourself, just cater to other people just because like other people's got a different opinion of you, and people just want to argue sometimes. For example, right, this morning I was swimming. It's a Friday morning. I figure I go to the pool and it's like 10:30, and maybe because it's Friday, there's plenty of people at the place I'm swimming, right? So the parking lot's getting full, and I'm trying to get parking. And when I was trying to pull up to this parking space, I noticed that, oh, it's too small. And then next thing you know, the car adjacent left of me, a car space, so 2 cars away from me, he started pulling out. And I guess he saw that he thinks I was trying to block him or something, and so as he was pulling out, he saw me and he was trying to hand signal language me, and I'm just waiting for him to leave. And so he pulls out and he brings his car close to me, and he was like, why are you blocking me, or why are you pulling up on me? And like, this is like 10:30 in the morning, and to answer a question like why, right? Why is like reasoning, right? And I don't know about you guys, but in the morning, I don't want to use my brain to explain somebody why I did that. If they didn't catch on to it, it's just, I don't want to do it, right? I don't want to waste my time. So I told him I don't want to waste my time, just get going. And then he just said something and he just drove his car. And I'm so thankful for that, just because sometimes some things are just not worth wasting your time explaining. And that was one of those times where like, I just want to go in and swim and get my Friday started. And I'm not about to like sit in my car and roll down my window and explain to him, oh, why I pulled up on him, or how did it happen. I just want to just go to my parking space, get my stuff, and go in and swim, right? And stuff like this is just kind of like, don't waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste my time. I don't want to bother explain to you. You already got out of the car. Why bother with asking all these useless questions? why try to get into the semantics of things when you don't need to, and it's just, yeah. What else I want to talk about? This YouTube channel, in a way is like me making videos, as a way of journaling, as well as, recording records of like my experiences and what I've learned and what I've gone through. At the same time, I like to think back, and if people watch this, right, hopefully they get some sort of value from my experience, or at least a perspective of me engaging these experiences. And like last week, usually on Sundays after church, I always hang out with the same group of people. We always play tennis at the park, and we're playing doubles, and I don't know, we were playing doubles, and me and my friend M was on the same team, and we were playing against T and G. I'm not gonna use real names, but and so we're playing tennis, we're playing doubles, and if anybody knows how to play tennis, in tennis, when someone hits a lob is a ball where you just kind of pop up, and an overhead is when you pound the ball in the sky. And so M gets a lob from G, because I was on the same team with M, so me and M versus T and G. So M gets a lob from G, and so while M was trying to hit the overhead because G popped up the ball in the air, G started talking, and it was, hindrance, and in official tennis, you can't talk right after you hit the ball, because it's considered hindrance to the other player. And so, thankfully, M was still able to hit the overhead and win the point. But, after the point was over, M told G, like, hey, you're not supposed to talk during the point, and like very agitatedly, right? Very agitated, and G was like, oh, shut the fuck up. And then M was like, you shut the fuck up. And and it got to the point where they're just kind of bickering, and it kind of made me think about the proverbs that I've been reading in my Bible studies, that a soft answer turns away wrath. And I get it, when we're emotionally heated in the moment, we just, that stuff just comes out. And I get it. I totally get it. And I myself do the same thing. But, as somebody who's watching from the side, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I just feel like it's not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, tennis is just a game, and I get it, we all want to win, but sometimes some things are just not worth arguing over. And I think that's like how I am, like the majority of my life, is that like, if something is not worth my emotional bandwidth, I will take the high road. Like, I would just take the high road. I'd be like, okay, you're right, whatever, move on. And that's always been how I deal with people. It's just that if I don't want to have to exert my emotions, because I feel like that's when lose my peace, is when I have to like exert my emotions and just be at a certain level where I'm pulled into like an argument or something that I don't want to be in. And it's just a waste of time. I just feel like not that I don't feel it, it's just that like to exert it and to add it into the feel, it just doesn't help. You know, I think most people are better thinkers when emotions aren't involved. But you know, as we all are, we're humans. We'll get pissed off, we'll get anger, we'll get triggered, whatever it is, right? We all have triggers, and you know, we can only hold so much. And you know, I think that you know, I used to think that oh, whenever that happens, I try to avoid these emotions by distracting myself, by doing something else. But I think now that I'm older, I think, you know, whenever you feel these emotions, you need to go through it. But to act upon these emotions, right, to want to do something based on these emotions, to have revenge, to fight back, and I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right, you know. And I don't know, I feel like the more I read the Bible, the more I get to know Christ, the more I'm just a lot more calm whenever these situation arises. And I see it more with my non-Christian friends, because they just, I don't know, they just get a lot more agitated, you know. And I think that you know, whenever that happens for me, I just feel like, yeah, I feel the same way you do, but I think I'm a lot easier in holding my peace, because yeah, I may able to like let out some feel that moment of, if I do let it out, but I feel like that would eat me up the rest of the day. And I feel like that's how, I don't want to say emotionally fragile, because that makes me seem weak. Maybe I am weak, but I know that like that's one thing I'm not good at, is just being too emotional. And so whenever things get too emotional, I need to like pause and really slow down what I'm doing and be more mindful of what I'm thinking about, what I'm doing, what I'm saying, because that's gonna be better for me, instead of just lashing out based on emotions. And you know, I could tell you 9 out of 10 times, you know, being the calmer person is always the way to go whenever you're dealing with like people or arguments or just emotions, you know. And you know, working to be a composed person is you know what I try to do now that I'm leaving, turning older. Guys, you guys know, in about 10-ish days it'll be my birthday, and that's crazy. I'm turning 30, you guys. This Target transport truck in my face. But yeah, I'm gonna turn 30. It's gonna be a wonderful day. I don't know, I usually don't really celebrate my birthday, and I usually get Korean barbecue with friends, and a small circle of friends. We hang out, you know, we watch, we probably hang out and just maybe drink a little bit of soju, but that's it. Usually very tame. I don't get drunk, I don't get messed up, you know. I do it, I'm responsible. I think perks of being the only child is that I'm responsible, and also, you know, I'm the oldest. Oh, well, I'm the only child, that makes me the oldest, obviously. So yeah, yeah, I don't know, I kind of just blabber a couple topics in this video, and I don't know, kind of just let my mind flow right now. But yeah, if you thought this video was enjoyable, or you thought some of these topics were insightful, feel free to drop it down below. And yeah, as always, if you like what you watch, hit subscribe. Show me some support by putting a comment or leaving a like on it. And yeah, I appreciate all the support, and may God bless this YouTube channel. Okay, with no expectations. Yeah, thank you as always for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.